Islam, Islam, Islam. We actually got a minute to actually begin, but we are live. We're streaming on 3 platforms. So whether you're watching us via our Facebook page or our YouTube channels, we got you covered. Praise the Lord. Are we coming in good? Can y'all hear us? Give us a thumbs up for Islam. Let us know. Islam. All right. Well, welcome to If the Truth Be Told, Islam. Praise Allah for allowing us another opportunity, as always, to get it right. It is an opportunity in which we embrace with much love and sincerity to be put in a position where not only having our words speak in the essence of our faith and giving honor to our prophet, but it is only supported by our actions. It's only supported by our way of life. And that's the wholeness. And when we say the words, acts, and deeds of a Muslim should be in sync. And so we give praises to our Father God Allah for allowing us all. Because if you're watching this, that means you're here. You still got work to do. Allah granted you a gift of time so you can gain as much of these beautiful lessons so we can take this understanding with us when we leave this physical plane, because the mind never forgets, right? And so we must cultivate our minds with the maximum of truth so that we have an idea and of respect and an embracing dedication and being that example, not only for ourselves but for others. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Well, giving honor to our prophet, the only American-born prophet in this here in time, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And we want to extend honors to all honors due for all true, faithful Moorish American Muslims and other folks that simply embrace that other idea, whether that idea is from a Christian faith, a Hebrew, Sunni, Buddhist, whatever. For you to want for others what you want for yourself. That is an embracing mindset that you have a respect for humanity. So we welcome you to If the Truth Be Told. This is a platform that has been instigated and generated to inform, educate, and uplift under the banner of Islam, well, the greater banner of Islam, but under the auspices of dispelling any myths, truth, conjectures about the Moorish Temple of America and the teachings of our beloved prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I'm Grand Governess Isa Saadi El. We want to welcome you to our platform. We are streaming on 3 platforms. So whether you're watching us on our YouTube channel, MSTA1928 YouTube channel, or If the Truth Be Told, or on our Facebook, we want to say Islam, Islam, Islam. We're glad that you have was able to chime in. Yeah, a lot been going on. A lot has been going on. And one of the things that we want to make clear for those that want to call in, because we have a call-in number, so you're definitely welcome to call in when we open up the lines for that, is that we are not here to we're not here to convince, coerce, persuade, bully anyone to believe as we believe. There simply is no compulsion for anyone to accept the faith of Islam as we do. It just isn't. We just give enough information so people can make excuse me, can make an informed decision as to their own personal journey and gaining an understanding of, the faith of Islam. We had a very humble brother call us today seeking, information about the Moorish Temples of America, and he was just really um, very grateful, and very high show of gratitude for the mere fact that we answered our phone. We always answer our phones here. And it's sad that he, and he was actually put on um, the journey, or rather on the road to the MSTA 1928 by an acquaintance that had said, hey, you need to contact these, this Moorish Temples of America, they'll set you right. And so we was able to inform the brother what's the essence and what needs to be done in order to gain membership. So this way we are clear. So he's clear. And we thought about, when speaking with him, how wonderful that the Shaykh, Shaykh Ra Saadi has um, instigated us to do a webinar for individuals seeking membership. But this webinar is a little different because what we're doing is explaining. This is for actual brothers and sisters, families, communities, groups of folks that's sincerely seeking to want to connect with our community. So we're not giving a omnipresence of what of what other temple Moorish Temple America communities do in terms of their membership, etc. Because we have our general membership, then we have our general associate membership. So you have your general membership, associate membership, and we have the supporter. Those who want to be a supporter to our community, and then we have organizational supporter. That means that you have certain organizations that definitely want to support, and you put their little logo up on your, but it has to be an organization in which we respect and can honor, or and that organization can be a business. The business definitely gives donations to us, and when we have events or whatever, we'll put their logo up on our banner because this is a sponsor. So basically a sponsorship element. So all those things are going to be explained on our webinar for those who are interested. We ask that you join the Moorish Temples of America in 1928. That's MSTA1928.org, and sign up for our mailing list. So this way you can get the invite to be a part of that webinar. And it's to answer questions about membership and the duties of membership, etc. So this way everyone's, it shouldn't be complicated. It's not rocket science, So that's that. So the truth be told, Islam. Now, if you was on the net, this was we did this last week.
Saturday.
Last Saturday, this past Saturday.
This past Saturday.
Man, I'm just yeah.
Like a week.
Yeah, it's like this week it's just everything going by fast and flying together. Please, folks, I'm just a little old lady just trying to make it. So we were on the Sinetta show. There was we had questions, and there was comments that was posted on the page in which the video that Brother Sinetta still has running. A lot of people tuned in. And then we started looking at the comments, not the comments during the live feed, but afterwards. Maybe, individuals watched the recording of it. And some of those comments we need to give some clarity to. Some of them was just kind of a little bit, I don't know. It was a mixture. And it was some beautiful comments that basically was giving honor to the chief and actually letting the chief know that, hey, no one's listening to you. These Moors are speaking the truth, and so it was comments that was definitely supportive of what the chief was doing, and we definitely appreciate that. Uh, so um, it was a lot of demonstrations that this particular platform host. And we want to make it clear that we're not coming in here to challenge anybody's religion, what they choose to call themselves, any of that. That we're not here to point fingers or whatever. We just say everyone free to do what they want and be what they want and choose to do. We have chosen this path called the Moorish Temples of America to live and to embrace the faith of Islam and be Moorish American Muslims. As long as nobody get in our way of us doing what we want to do, how we want to do it, without causing harm or injury to anyone, then that it shouldn't be an issue. But it becomes problematic when a person takes a antagonistic measure to try to impose their ideas on what we do, or try to say what we do is not good enough, that we need to somehow change it up to appease them. You got a problem with that. That doesn't sit well with us. It shouldn't sit well with you. Someone coming into your house telling you what food you should eat and how you should change the color of the paint and get rid of the dog and or the cat and whatever. You don't have no one come into your space and try to dictate how you need to say and what you need to do. So we have, when we talk about the prophet and the temple, we're talking about from a perspective and not our personal opinion. It is based on the historical uh, uh, doctrine. It's based on the premise in which our prophet has laid down, the caveats, the laws, the rules, regulations, all of that, our customs, our traditions, and the foundation is our faith of Islam. The prophet gave us all of these things, and so we coming from that angle, and we're not again looking to bully no one to believe us. We ain't knocking on your door 7 o'clock in the morning trying to convince you that the prophet is the prophet. Because again, there is no compulsion. This has to be something, or something has to be instigated in you to want to accept this way of life. And we just here to walk with you in terms of getting you into understanding how to live this way of life. But you first have to accept it. It's no difference in someone seeking mental health. If they not in, if they don't have a fix that there's an issue and that there's a problem, that's the first thing. And recognizing that they do have a problem, and not only recognizing that they have a problem, but they're willing to speak with someone or do whatever it needs to address that issue. That's a person willing to take those necessary steps to get to a place of peace. So just like someone seeking God and then and trying to seek an understanding of who God is to them, all of us started out in some form and fashion on our journey in coming into the Moorish Temples of America. So in the seeking of God, you know, we have to basically humble ourselves to be guided, to put ourselves in a position of being a student to someone to guide us on this journey. So we just simply, as the chief minister has often said, we just welcoming everyone to Islam. Islam, Islam, Islam. So we got Sheikh Kenyatta on the line. We're gonna bring you into the room. Islam, Sheikh Kenyatta, how you doing? You gotta unmute yourself. Let me unmute you. Okay. You can unmute yourself when you're ready. Just come on and chime on in. Islam. Praise Allah. So those of you who didn't watch the show, um, uh, is the Sinetta demonstration, and you can check it out on YouTube. SANETER Studios. And it was I think we did what we do. We did what we do. I'm like, we did what we do. Um and that is to uh represent our prophet in a way in which we are proud, and in a way in which we love our prophet. We want to represent him in the best of ways, intelligently, and again, not trying to bait anyone into an argument or anything like that. Islam. So, um, and if you have any questions, post them in the chat, the live chat, and we'll take them in. Now we do have a phone number where you can call in, and once the chief minister gives me the green light to um to call in, uh, for you to call in, the only thing that we ask, state your name and what's your way. Is it Islam? Is it Christianity? Are you a Hebrew? Because this is, the truth be told, and what we do is based on our faith. So we want to be respectful in that sense of addressing you in a manner in which um, will be beneficial to everyone in the answer or the explanation that we will give based on your question. So, again, what's your name and what's your way? That's all we want to know. We don't want your social security number. We want your mama's maiden ID, maiden name. We don't want your driver's license number. We don't want any of that, because ain't nobody should be asking you for that stuff. And if you done gave somebody your mama's maiden name, and somebody your social security number or your driver's license number and all that stuff, and took a picture of all your stuff, then and because you want to you want to buy yourself into being a sovereign or Moorish national or whatever, consider yourself had. And the person that took your money, they gone. And I'm 9 out of 10, but just like all the times, it's always done via text message, or if they do a video chat, their camera's off. They probably disguising their voice, but you ain't gonna know who it is. It's not gonna be a face-to-face transaction. But if it was a couple of ones that they did, and the brother had to meet them behind here in Georgia behind the Krispy Kremes on
when the sign was hot.
when the sign of the hot sign, a brother had this Negro. Now he ain't a brother. Negro had this couple, Asiatic couple from Alabama, meet him.
After coming here, paying their dues for three of them.
Yeah.
And they didn't pay the whole due. We gave them a discount. Then they went behind Krispy Kreme and gave the man $5,000. Then we didn't hear from them again to about 3-4 months later when they got busted for driving with the wrong license.
There you go. That part. So that's why we we just trying to do our due diligence and keeping everyone educated and informed, right? Because in order for you to be uplifted, you need to be educated about the issue. So this way, you are being informed of what's going on. So you therefore become uplifted, because now you in the realm of knowing and not guessing and assuming. So we want to welcome everyone. Kenyatta, you got anything you want to say? You can unmute your mic if you're able to. All right, all right, all right. Well, the questions that came up during this thing. You want to go? You want to get into it, Chief?
What?
The questions that
You should have went into the questions.
Okay, all right, let's go into it. I was just giving some context.
No. Did you ask Ali? Is he on?
No, he's not on yet. He's not on yet. Trying to get my screen right. Hold it. There we go. Okay. No, wrong page. gotta go back and pull up my questions. Can't find my questions. Okay,
Won't you put them up on my phone and then do it that way?
I get them.
Huh?
Uh, I'll pull them up. All right, so we're gonna get the questions. Yeah, I'll put it up on your phone.
Yeah.
And that's as big I can make it right now.
Okay.
Well,
What the questions?
I think I
Oh,
can
there
do
you go.
that.
That's right side.
Okay.
All right. Now go into my phone and get this question.
Okay. Let me get the questions. 1928.
I talked to Brother Sinetta today and told him thanked him for having us on his show and stuff. And he welcomed us back, so I just said, okay, I got some things I got to do first. Then we may come back on the show.
Okay. I got a total of 9, so we go
9
on
what?
questions.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is, why do Moorish temples avoid teaching civics?
Well, what temple he a part of? This is the first thing. What's his name?
Um, this one didn't have a name. This was on.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anonymous.
We had 2 anonymous, and the rest
Well,
have
see,
their
Anonymous,
names.
they ask questions just for the hell of it. What does civics have to do with being religious? Now, we had people come to our temple talking about, yeah, y'all don't practice civics. You don't know what the hell we practice because you're not a member here. You don't know what we teach because you're not a member here. Basically, what you're saying is what's coming out your mouth. Hey, Mo, come here. Go look at the car, the door thing.
Yes.
And get the thing. I know something about that. So they really don't know. Now, the civic they practice ain't saving them. So most of these brothers that come to my temple, yeah, Black's Law. I got the first Black Law. How you gonna teach civic? You ain't got the first book. I got the first Black Law book, dictionary. The very first. And that lets you know that since then, they made what, over 79 changes? So whatever you practice in civic keep changing, so it's not true tomorrow that was true today. But anyway, I say this, you don't know what the hell we're teaching our temple.
Mm-hmm.
But I know one thing, whole lot of them brothers, they taught civics, are calling me, asking me to get them out of jail and walk with them. I know that much. Sisters, they even put our name and number on their paperwork. I got called all the way from Carbondale, Illinois. Brother locked up, practicing his civics right. Woo, woo, woo. The other brother practices indigenous, him and the sister. They indigenous right. So you wonder why we practice something that doesn't work. But it gives you opportunity to run your mouth. So it's cool. We're not mad at you. Was it there? Okay. So anyway. So we don't practice civics, as you say, as you call it. But I got a question for y'all. Since the civics that you're using is European, what you gonna do when the European go back to Europe? Are you gonna try to use your civic to keep me in line, to tell me what's right and wrong? When the prophet say the European got to go back to Europe, he's 3,000 miles away from home. So what civics are you gonna be living by when the European, your master, go home? Are you still talking about you a free white man and your civics? So that's a question for you. When that European go back to Europe, and ain't no Europeans here no more, you be practicing civics. All right, go ahead. That's why we don't practice the temple, because it ain't no good. Go ahead.
Yes, next question. This is by Spirit Wolf.
That Negro.
Lot is not Abraham's brother, but his nephew. Abraham.
See,
Okay.
That Negro can't read. We read that from the Bible, right?
Uh-huh.
We read that from the Bible. But anyway, see the spirit of dumbness. He used to say he was a Negro, then he became a Moor, then he became an Ottoman, because he called himself telling me, what you gonna do, Brother Ryan, when the Ottomans come? Now the Negro is not in Islam at all. He's not a Moor, he's not an Ottoman, he's an Indian, and sent me sometime. I said, man, let me see your card. You know, because Indians have nationality cards too. He drew up something and showed it to him. I said, man, that ain't even it. Because they don't have the right thing on. So the spirit of dumbness, you know, since he's not a Moor no more, why he hanging around the temple? Why he interested in what I'm doing? Since he ain't no more no more. He ain't an Ottoman either. He's not with the Nasabani. And he talked bad about the Moors and the prophet. So I would tell that guy, zip. Go ahead.
Okay. Is this is by Brando Brack. The so-called original people wouldn't have gave themselves a name or title. Titles are given. Titles and names are given to establish
Let me ask,
distinguishing.
wait a minute.
But
How he know?
let me finish.
Wait a minute, how he know the original people what it did?
To establish distinguishing between another. For example, if I'm the only person on earth, why would I give myself a name?
He should go with this. He must ride. He must be the horse that the spirit of dumbness ride. He go, you know, this is the thing. People we talking about, yes, you know, such and such. Well, how can I ain't gotta you gotta disprove what I'm saying. What I'm saying has saved me. Anybody know my record and see where I came from. Those Negroes still there. So I don't know what he talking about. They wouldn't have gave themselves a name. So they just went around. So the whole family just went around. Nobody had a name. It was just like caveman. The thing to give me, how you know what the original man did? He ain't got no God. Woo! Go ahead, Nick. I don't know how to answer dumbness. I really don't.
Okay, this is the comment based on something you said. The first is two-part. Somebody with the title tag "Nice Time."
I figured
The
that.
name Asia comes from the Greek go Atlas. His wife's name was Asia. Then
Wait a minute.
Mr. Reggie said,
Wait a
okay.
minute. Didn't the Greeks borrow stuff from Egypt? Let me see how stupid I am. The Greeks were taught by Egypt, right? They got their gods from Egypt. So you figure it out. Go ahead, next question. Go ahead.
And then it said, this is from Reggie, Brother Reggie. In addition, the Roman Sepulchre brother was named Asia for conquering Asia.
Wait a
Lucas
minute.
Colionis.
Wait a minute. He was called Asia for conquering Asia.
He
How
said,
the hell he get the name Asia? What was Asia at?
he said it's shameful for us saying we're Asiatics.
Well, see, this is the thing. Shameful to say something that's stupid. Asia, he called himself Asia for conquering Asia. Now, Africa is named after Africa, Scepter, whatever it is, because he conquered Africa. Now, this guy conquered Asia, then he was named after what he's conquered. That makes plenty of sense. I said, this is the catch. All these Negroes go to these Europeans for their answer. Whatever they trying to get a response to, they go to the European. Well, the Europeans say you're a nigger too, from nigger land. Reggie, he said you're a nigger from nigger land. You're black from his anus. So anyway, go ahead.
This is from Gnostic Infinite.
Gnostic knowledge infinite. Go ahead.
The reincarnated prophet and his community kept the movement moving past 1929.
What they do?
In this,
What they do? I used to
be...
talk with his wife. Wait, but did I introduce you to his wife? Did I take you over there and introduce you to Eve Aliyah? What this Negro talking about? Where they moved at? Wait. Right now, all of them dying out. What did they do? Even the dumb Moors still here. The building they brought on 3810 South Wabash, last time I talked to those brothers about 8 years ago, was only 5 of them in the whole building. There was members. I took you to the building too, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
This nigga probably ain't met nobody over there. All they talking reincarnate talking about, we got 16 more years and y'all got. But some of y'all pray to the east, some of y'all pray to the west. How you kept something going? The brother Hummid ill, the one that had one of the largest groups, and he came down to Georgia as an alcoholic and died. He died here in Atlanta, Georgia, alcoholic. They talking about he was meditating. He was drunk. He came down and died with his daughter, living with his daughter. So I ain't like y'all. I've been around. Go ahead, next.
The part, then the next part of that was that the Cook Bay brothers knew where the authority and the authenticity rested past post 1929. Like you, they just couldn't accept it. Our doors are open when you're ready.
Wait a minute. For what? He ain't smart as Sister Eva Ali Hill. She slept with the man. Wait a minute, you been to her house? Mm-hmm. We've been in her bedroom. Tell me what you saw.
On her wall, when she was sitting in the bed, she was sitting up, and it was on her wall to the left of her was a picture of her husband was in a small frame.
Now, who was next to the left of us?
And it was a huge picture of our prophet, Noble Drop. And she kept pointing to the picture of the prophet.
Okay, where was her husband at? He was on the other side of the room where I was at, wasn't he?
A small frame.
A little small frame picture. Mm-hmm. And she never pointed him as being the prophet, did he? No. See, she's no more than y'all. Sister Eva Ali no more than y'all. I used to go to her house all the time. She lived right off the 5200 block of Laramie. Right around the corner from my cousin Jimmy and them. Now, all the heads in Chicago, Reynolds Hill, I met him back in 78. And even Yusuf Ali Hill, or Babe, whatever he called himself, he was in the temple. So, if y'all saw advanced, all y'all brought was buildings, 1 or 2 buildings, and now y'all ain't nothing. Right now, Anthony Bay, who's in Newark, New Jersey, I've been trying to find him. So if you know him, give me a call so I can call and talk to him. But he sold his building for $360,000. So it looks like y'all ain't doing nothing. Reincarnated prophet has done nothing. Now I give him honors. Don't get me wrong. He was, of all the leaders, one of the most Islamic. I give him that honor. But he taught y'all such a spooky story about how he became a prophet. Your children rather believe in Jesus. Their children believe in Jesus more than they do him. So that points out the end. Well, they didn't do nothing. Even Sister Eva, I got a tape around. Sister Eva, if you send me $30, I'll send you the tape. Well, she said, y'all was so busy chasing skirts, y'all couldn't keep up what he did. That's what she said, his wife. You brothers so busy chasing skirts, and the skirts ain't coming to the temple. She said at her birthday party. I got it on video. And she talked about y'all, how y'all messed up everything. So, some of y'all pray to the east, some of y'all pray to the west. So, next question.
Islam. They say they got their doors open ready when you are. That is funny.
Yeah, probably somebody on a can on the corner trying to talk. He couldn't even say his name, so let you know. He ain't even proud to say his name. Come on. Okay. Or her name.
All right. Okay, that was okay. Now this the same person. To my understanding, the Adept Chamber was reopened in 1945, 1946 under the guidance of the Nazarene Ira Bay. We can
Ira Bay was in prison. How he opened it up on us? He was in prison. He was in Menard prison. Ira Johnson Bay. Plus the fact the sister, Eva Ali Hill, said at her birthday that ain't none of y'all adepts because her husband never made one. This come out of her mouth on the tape. She said that he didn't make one adept. Because the brother come to tell her about Remus and Ramas. She was to tell everybody about Remus and Ramas. And the brother, Willie Bay, came to her. She said, you ain't no adept. So she said, ain't none of y'all adepts. Said her husband never made an adept. So if the wife was there, you wasn't. She said her husband never made an adept. So and Johnson Bay went blind. He went blind for a moment in Menard State Prison in Illinois. He never did, and his son George came out, George Johnson Bay, and he started letting him eat chicken and stuff. Next. They don't know enough.
And same person. We can trace ourselves back decades. Don't use Muley ill or Morrison ill, etc. to leap to 1979. Allah knows best.
Wait a minute, don't use. Well, Muley ill was the one the prophet poured. Ain't nobody pouring John giving it. He poured it himself. He said he was working on the car. This is how it went. He said, what's that noise? He was under the car. Then he looked, he seen some legs and a pair of shoes. He said, he said, who is it? The feet disappeared and went to the other side of the car. And he looked on the other side of the car, he heard. And then the feet disappeared. Then he pushed from under the car. Well, he had a screwdriver and a nut bolter. And he jumped up in the spear, jumped in his body, knocked him down. And the police, now the European police said when they opened his eye, he had a crescent in one and a star in the other. And them people been following that ever since. The story they told me was when the prophet was buried, in front of everybody, say John Givenil was pulled into the coffin. I said, well, who witnessed that? I know people that was there. And none of them said nobody like that guy got snatched into the coffin. Then they said at the next convention in 29 that he came in the temple because he'd been sick up there in Philadelphia. And he came into the temple. Wouldn't nobody give him the Quran. That was a sign that, you know, you was to speak. So he went and sat in the prophet's chair and he pulled a sword out the air and dug dirt out his nails. And as everybody went out the room, he made all these shadows look like they're the animals that they were.
Wow.
I said, I see why your children don't stay here. That's more spooky than the Arabs. Go ahead.
Okay. And this is, I guess, this was a question in response to C. Freeman Neal. He was right. The Moors never did anything for the black man.
Y'all ain't listening. See, Freeman was right. He wasn't listening either. That's why y'all had to go around and beg people for money to bury him. Why did y'all have to go beg people for money to bury him? The old pork chop eating man. Old sausage finger. He right, we ain't never done nothing for black people. You got to come from blackness into the light. If you love blackness, I ain't got nothing against you. But don't tell me I ain't doing nothing for you. I'm trying to teach you how to fish. You want me to feed you. So, next.
This is the last one because other comments were basically just giving support to what you were saying. I saved this one for last. Whew, this is a doozy here. Why you Moors are so proud of the incestual relationship Lot had with his daughters?
Now I'm going to show you something. First of all, you got to be the dumbest Negro in the world. If it wasn't but two people, Adam and Eve, everything is incestuous.
Going with their story. Right?
Going with their story, because you're going with the European story. Now, when it comes to us, go to any church, any religious group, and go into that group and see how many people call themselves brothers and sisters. Hey, Brother Bob, Sister Mary. And they ain't no kin to each other. Y'all let that devil fool your punk butt again. Right now in this temple, we got brothers and sisters. So I married my sister. So if we incestuous, hey, are we incestuous? I married you, right? So we incestuous, right? So we incestuous because we brothers, we belong in the same house. We follow the same God, got the same prophet.
That should make him feel stupid.
So we incestuous? God dog.
That should make him feel stupid for that question. See,
Wait a minute,
that's so logical.
Because they stupid. They love the devil. The devil has dumbed them down. Elijah Muhammad told them that. Why do you love the devil? Because he don't give you a damn thing. He has dumbed you down, made you run around and think you clever. All these questions will dumb you down. I don't know how to do dumbness. Well, why would you claim? You going by the same book that call you a nigga. The same book that say you can be a slave. You don't know the difference between truth and falsehood. Like a used Kotex. That's all it is. They're like brushing their teeth or washing up with a used Kotex. Then ask me, why can't I do that? Well, go ahead, brother. It's not healthy, but it don't look good hanging out your mouth either. But it's okay. You happy with it? I'm not mad at you.
Stay over there.
Just stay over there. That's all I'm saying. Stay over there. I know that's sort of raw, but I gotta say it raw because then y'all pay attention. Y'all be some dang. Raheel said that. Well, you a minister, brother. You can't say that. That's why I can say it because I'm a minister. I know truth from falsehood. I gotta say stuff that's shocking you, make you feel stupid for saying something that stupid. I bet he called somebody his brother and sister, and he ain't no kin to him. Who's that? Don't hang up my phone.
That's my phone.
Answer the call. Whoever that was, answered. Yeah.
You want to open up the phone lines?
Yeah, I guess we'll open the phone line.
Okay, so if you want to call in with a comment or question,
With some sense.
it can be about what we're talking about, or even what you saw on the.
Oh, you
Sinetta
say
show.
that?
Yeah, let me.
Okay, I see. All right.
So again, welcome to If the Truth Be Told. We just want you to state your name.
And what's your way? What you practice?
What's your way?
Prophet say, who is the man that tests me? I want to know who the man is.
So the phone number is 678-632-1499. Again, that's 678-632-1499. Call in, state your name, and what's your way. And while we waiting on some callers to call in, Kenyatta, are you able to unmute and chime in? You are free to do so. It was interesting. We had a feedback where people was actually kind of surprised that there wasn't a whole bunch of folks chiming in on the Sinetta show to attack who we are and to come at the chief. And it's something that Chief said during our Friday Holy Day service that, anytime we do a platform, we give praises to Allah and ask Allah to guide us, go before us, to condition our thoughts and minds, to prescribe the best means and measures for us to represent who we are as a reflection of Him, of our faith, of our prophet. So it was Allah that placed his finger over the lips of those who may have
Ooh.
been antagonistic, may have been controversial or subversive. Allah placed his finger on their lips and kept their mouths still so people can actually hear about the teachings of Prophet Noble Ali. And we've had, people reach out to us after that show, and was glad that they was on that show. That it carries a large platform, but it enabled us to present the Moorish Science Temple America in the way that it should, because there was things that was answered that people was totally, you know, was amazed. It was one brother said, "Thank you so much for connecting the dots to Moors being Sufis," and I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And those are things we go more in depth with our members, because um, there are certain things that we don't teach publicly, because what it does is it strengthens people in naught in trying to use that against us, rather for the greater good.
And other Moors.
And they go against it, just like the prophet had told the Moors had to stop them when it was the questionnaire. He had to switch it up because the Moors was actually going out and being antagonistic towards people that didn't know, and other Europeans. Stop flashing your card, and speaking radical, because they felt that having the knowledge that they had, that somehow they weaponized the knowledge to go and attack other people. And it wasn't meant to weaponize to go and attack people. The knowledge was meant to give you strength so you can attack your lower self, so you can get yourself together, be strong, and be able to represent in a way you should, that can be a benefit to the temple. But it's like a lot of these platforms, we see that they weaponize information just to attack somebody else's idea or how they choose to believe or whatever. And that's not what it, and there's no benefit to
That ain't
that.
what knowledge is for.
And again, it's not what knowledge is for. There's no benefit to that. And at the same time, we see people have embraced a huge library of information in their heads, but with all that information, it's not providing them food, clothes, and shelter. It's not providing them a way of life. It hasn't uh, uh, created a life for them to where they can not only better themselves, but to better others. What the prophet has given us was not just for ourselves, but it was for it was for building the concept, the mindset of a nation, so we can work in harmony together. Because it's in the Moorish literature that we get the excerpt that was initially out of the Moorish Guide newspaper, where the prophet wrote um, that spam.
I got it too.
That the problem of our people is largely social and economic, but in a profound sense, the prophet said, in a profound sense, it is moral and spiritual. So if in a profound sense, the moral and spiritual is the essence in which we need to raise people up into demonstrating, into living morally, to be spiritually convicted in their faith, then the economic and social issues will be answered. It wouldn't be no issue, because their moral conviction is to not only want for others what they want for themselves, but they are part of a greater idea and conception. They're part of a nation. They're part of a community. So you're going to look after your community to build something up for not only for your family, but for the future generations. So the prophet had masterfully um, created a blueprint for us to follow, for us to build upon. But yet others tend to believe the prophet didn't know enough. He didn't do enough. So then the verbiage starts changing, the language starts changing. Truth does not change nor pass away. And so the language became um, uh, antiquated, to where somehow now we got to go from, in our chapter when it talks about the understanding when we go in the chapter of unity
26.
in chapter 26 and dealing with the understanding, you got Moors that they don't want to deal with the understanding, they want to be overstanding. Where we wait a minute, where are we going with this? What's the why do we have to be flippant in our words? We grown people here. We grown. Let's just say this we grown folks here. We ain't gotta act like children and start changing our language to suit some type of pronouns or adjectives or whatever how you want to perceive in this direction of the verbiage. Let's keep it plain and simple. The prophet guy, why can't we just follow his script?
Because they don't follow the prophet.
So no callers? Come on.
That's good.
Islam, Islam,
Truth be told,
Islam, Islam, Islam.
That's good for us.
Islam. It was a question. One of our people, our members, Islam chief, was it just Lot's and his immediate family, or more?
What you mean?
Yeah, yeah, but that's too.
It was a tribe.
Oh, okay.
Lot, when he left, you got. That's why I tell y'all got to learn the scripture. When you read the scripture, it says this here. Ibrahim and Lot was talking, and Ibrahim said, Lot, if you go east with your people, I go west. If you go south, I go north. So they said, my people. Now, if you're looking, like I was saying, Genesis 14, when it says, it tells you how many people he had in his household that could fight. So you got to look at these households. Now, Lot lost a lot of his people in the battle that he lost with the kings. They conquered him, and that what made him go inside Sodom and Gomorrah. When you look at it, his people was whooped and killed. So just him and his family. And when you say family, we talking about the other people that remained that was with his tribe, with Lot's people. It's like when you read the Bible, they got most of y'all thinking everybody left out of Egypt were Jews. But if you read it, it says the people that came out of Egypt also could be made slaves. Jews didn't make slaves of Jews. There was a lot of people that came out of Egypt. There was a lot of people came out of Sodom and Gomorrah. All of them didn't last. And who would you trust if you just escaped the fire? Only your immediate family and family.
That's true.
But anyway.
Yes, son. Yes, son.
Read Genesis 14, and it says Lot's brother. I mean, Abraham's brother. This is why I try to get y'all to learn scriptures too. And once you get the scriptures in your head, we can begin to explain the metaphor and the symbolism of it, of said scriptures. We give you a point that you can begin to see other. Once you get the formula for solving a problem, that mathematical equation, you can solve all the problems of that mathematical timetables. You can do the times. Subtraction, do subtraction. Plus, you can do the plus. See what I'm saying? We just giving you the formula that's guaranteed to bust down everything else. All right, next.
Yes, son. Yes, son. Again, if you want to call in, that's 678-632-1499. Again, that's 678-632-1499. We just ask that you state your name and what's your way. Your way being
What you're about.
You know, what you're about. Islam. It's almost like the sun of the show.
No, this is the first night that we did it like this.
Yeah, that's true. That's
so
true.
This is the first night we did it like this, so you can expect that.
Islam.
We'll have people on there like Under Lord Sif Abbey and stuff.
Islam. So it was quite interesting, but there was other postings that actually was giving gratitude and accolades to the chief, where um, some people were saying that you was answering the questions, but the people weren't listening.
They can't listen.
You
See,
know,
Satan has subliminal suggestion, and in that subliminal suggestion, we think that everything we doing is what we doing, but it's not us doing it because we have not learned to be disciplined. What we have learned is he had put so much stuff in our head on top of each other that one thing leads to another. That's why the brother couldn't understand. Well, which temple is the right temple? I say, well, brother, our prophet say, compare the spirit of man to which you know to be divine, and adjust yourself to what is divine. That's simply put, brother. You have any idea what is divine? Now, once you find out what's divine, compare everything that you're looking at to what's divine according to your standard.
right?
But he couldn't do that. But it is what it is. I'm just looking to see if anybody else posted up here. Go ahead. Because I'm
Islam.
gonna go upstairs and see if nobody say something.
Islam.
You can finish
Well,
talking.
the if the truth be told is simply a platform to where we answer questions and give clarity to the teachings of our prophet. Again, we're not going, to debate or go, to get into a argument over these divine lessons. Unless you're a scholar in this, um, then it's something that the chief said. He debates with his equal. Anyone else, he's teaching. And so we're here just, on all our platforms, um, to inform, educate, and uplift.
Let me say this here. The reason I had to ask who you are when you're talking. What are you? Who are you? Where you at? You. Most of these brothers are educated fools. They ain't been nowhere done that. Just like that brother talking about the reincarnated. Now I done sat down with the prophet, with his prophet's wife, many occasions. I used to go from my cousin Jimmy's house around her house. I just sit and talk with her. Who did you talk to? I had a whole ton. I remember when I went to California, I had a whole ton of letters and documents from Ira Johnson Bay because she gave it to me. I lost it because my grandmama. So I had a whole lot about Ira Johnson Bay. How he sent the brothers down there and said he had died, but he rose from the grave. He was Jesus. Y'all go for that dumb stuff, not me.
So, um,
All right, you got
it
10 more minutes
question.
before I
It
leave.
was why does it seem to be so much infighting, or I guess internal fighting? Uh,
Who said that?
Zen, uh, Suna, Zen Suna.
Well, I had to ask him, is everything all right where y'all group is? What group are you with? Remember, I said I want to know your name and who you with. What's you practice? That ain't doing me no good. There's always infighting in family. Teeth and tongue fall out. Hey, the country you live in fought each other twice. The Revolutionary War and then the Civil War. So,
They fighting in Islam. You got
yeah.
the Sunnis and the Shiites.
so, so I don't even understand that question. Brothers and sisters fight. So I don't understand those type of questions.
Another question. Doc Heaven, did Brother John Givens ill follow the prophet?
What do you mean, Father? He was a member of the temple, but he had issues. Matter of fact, I should have a copy of a letter around here where his mother asked the prophet to watch out for him because he had mental issues. That comes from his mama. She wrote the prophet.
You had that letter in the. You had the controversy. We had that letter in the controversial years.
So his mama said it was something wrong with her boy. What else? Oh, Asa, yeah. Yeah, Asa, yeah. Brother Aiden there too. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Or other
I mean, no, it's not the questions. And it's kind of interesting because even John Givenil, from we gather that he loved the prophet.
Yeah.
He was a prophet's chauffeur. And so
he just took it too far.
Yeah.
Now, if he just said he was a grand sheik, or if he just said he was a minister, that he'd been divinely ordained, people would have followed him still. But when you start off telling a lie and a spooky story, you got to end up with a spooky story. You can't change.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
And so we're just here to,
I'm giving you 5 more minutes now.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Another question. When one of the brothers says, self-demonstrate with me that yourself had demonstrated with the multitude of Moors when they was in St. Bernard Hospital.
Saint Bernard Hospital.
Bernard or Bernard?
Bernard prison was that part of?
St. Bernard, ain't no St. Bernard. There's a St. Bernard Hospital off of 63rd Street on 69th Street.
Oh, okay.
That's a St. Bernard. I was in that place. I was raised around that hospital when I was a child before they put the Dan Ryan through. And when I got shot, I went to that hospital.
Islam.
So, St. Bernard, that's it. What else? What are you talking about the hospital?
So we
Any more questions? Come on.
678-623-1499. 678-632. I'm sorry, I get this dyslexia. 678-632-1499. It's on the screen. If you're viewing it, you can see the number right there up under our logo. So we're here. Islam. Okay, the person, Doc Heaven, I'm thinking that he couldn't play Grand Sheik. It would have been out of order.
He said he was a prophet. That's not out of order. Okay, I'm through with that one. He said he was a reincarnated prophet. That's not out of order.
Yeah, he went beyond. he surpassed that
one. I'm gonna mess up big.
Yeah. But those are.
What's another question?
That's it. No other questions? No other comments? We appreciate y'all for tuning in. And if you haven't seen the interview, it's definitely informative. You can go on the Sinetta TV and watch it. And maybe next Thursday you can come back with some more questions. Or
intelligent questions
based on that, and then we have a slew of other videos that we definitely share. We got a question just popped up from True Health. What's the story of Brother Lomax Bey? Why don't Moors ever speak of him?
He betrayed the prophet. 1929, he betrayed the prophet. February the 15th, he said that the prophet no longer in charge, that he is. He said that February the 15th, 1929. That's why the temple started dividing up and going through changes. So why are we talking about somebody betrayed the prophet? Why are we holding him up? That's like somebody going to use the bathroom and bring the poopy doo. I'd set it on the table, honor the poopy doo. We don't do that. We ain't honoring no poopy doo people. So
that's in the controversial years. Even I think you got the court case in there too.
I don't know if I got the court case in there, but he betrayed the prophet. Eventually, the prophet had to kick him out the temple. But in the end, he became a regular Muslim. And if you look at the sheiks that buried Malcolm X, you find out they came out of his mosque. They came out the mosque. He started calling himself Ezra the Professor, Ezra-Din Muhammad. He took all those brothers up to Turkey with him. When they found out the Turkish people didn't like our people, he ran to Egypt. He messed over the people in Egypt, and Kirkman Bey and the other people had to vouch for these brothers and sisters to get them back to the country. It's still an old building in Detroit, if it's still up there. It's called the Church of Lomax. That was the old Moors called it the Church of Lomax. Parker Bay took us in front of it. So it was still standing then, the remainder of it.
And that speaks to the conflict that was going on in the temple during the time of the prophet. You know, a lot of issues that the prophet was having, those were people with turbans and fezzes on.
And there was people that got brought off.
Yeah.
They wanted that money. Yeah.
So the prophet had a lot to deal with. That's why it's like forced to make changes. He had to just the seat of the people didn't know where the seat of power.
No, they knew what it
existed.
was. They wasn't respected.
They wasn't respected.
See, the prophet spoke in a certain manner. He ain't like me because I'd have called him a bunch of niggas and smacked them in the head, knocked their turbans off.
The prophet,
If I was the prophet Mufti, he had to send me to the other part of the country because I'd be busy. What you say? What you say? You just said that to the prophet. Let that sword sing. A lot about. Anybody else?
It's not. So you can join us tomorrow, the same channel. We're going to be streaming on all these different platforms for our Holy Day service, which is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our Sunday school is at 2 p.m. You're welcome to come in and hear a beautiful measure on our faith, on the teachings, gain a greater perspective during our Friday Holy Day service. I don't know. So, Kenyatta, before we close out, did you want to chime? I don't know if you're driving or what, because I see
you. Know you're driving.
Oh, he's driving, so you can't unmute yourself. Okay, no problem. Maybe next time. Islam. So, go to the Let me put it up there. It's the Moorish Islamic store. And you can go on the Moorish Islamic store.
Did Z just pop back
up? Sir, give us the drawing off of the Prince of Peace, Arlaville.
Arlaville, not the Prince of Peace. German Bay was the Prince of Peace. And he had the big head. He put his name in the prayer, so I should tell you about him. You had to say the prayer by night and by day through the Prince of Peace, Dr. R. German Bay. He went all that. I used to talk with the man. It went all that. That's when that old other fool was over there, Unpleasant Bay. Before he did what he did, and the Prince of Peace chased him out the temple. That guy used to have it. Sisters couldn't go through the chamber up there in Baltimore unless he slept with them. Pleasant Bay is a cold-blooded homosexual. I mean, cold-blooded. Next.
That's it. So go to the Moorish Islamic store. We have
That's it?
Yeah, no more comments, right?
No more comments. Why?
Huh?
Why ain't no more comments?
I don't know.
I ain't more comments before I leave. I'm gonna let Isis close it out. She opened it up and let her close it out. The Prince of Peace.
All right.
You messed up a good name or a title.
I want love Bill.
Didn't your grandfather said a prince is supposed to be able to
feed his people?
Yeah.
Brother went out the game backwards, but
Islam. Well, we truly appreciate y'all tuning in.
Yeah. What's the other stuff down there?
No, that's just just.
Any more questions? So now y'all know why I'm the hated most national leader. So I'm gonna tell you the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Absolutely. And that's the theme of the show, right? If the truth be told, you know.
I love that sister Eve Ali. We can sit and hold all types of decent conversations with her. What is it you want now?
Islam.
Yeah. Sister was a good sister.
Islam. So
What's he saying?
it's the same question, just repeat itself. So we invite y'all to, again, get the controversial years from the Moorish Islamic store. This way you won't be like a lot of these people making assumptions about what was said, because the book is not written in a way to where it's just cheap.
Most of it is documentation.
That's what it is.
Documentation from all the different branches of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The original branches. Originally, it wasn't but 3 to 4 branches of the Moorish Science Temple of America. All these other things are just bootleg upon bootleg upon bootleg.
Absolutely. So,
Let me see.
no, that's it. So, we look forward to seeing y'all tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for, again, our Friday Holy Day service. And we will be having a webinar next week. We're going to do it on Saturday. Not this Saturday, next week Saturday, for about the membership.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so if you want to be a part of that webinar, go to our website.
No, for members.
It's for members. It's
That's
for
right.
those who want to be members. So it's only, we're not trying to engage someone else, is not seeking to be a member. It's for those who sincerely are seeking to be members here, but need clarity as to associate member, as far as general member or supportive member, supportive organization. So this way you have an understanding that there are ways that you can definitely be up under the umbrella of the Moorish Temple of America 1928. And it's only going to be, it's basically for those who want to actually be members. So we're going to have a special webinar for you. Islam. Well, I'm not going to keep it on, this was the thing we thought we was going to kind of, so I didn't really have any topic or a platform. Is there a temple in Augusta, Georgia? Not that I'm aware of. We're not in Augusta, Georgia, but we make it possible where anyone can join wherever they're at. So as long as you're not off planet, we can pretty much cover you. If you want to join the Moorish Temple of America, we make it accessible for everyone, because I mean, with everyone, I think everything has become accessible, since the pandemic, via the the various streaming applications and so forth. But we do request that those who are in the Atlanta area wanting to become, come in-house, that you give us a call. So this way we know who's coming, and just trying to keep safe in a safe place. A lot of stuff is still,
2 hours.
Huh?
2 hours.
2 hours. Okay. So you can join from wherever you at. As a question, out of Braswell and Bailey Ill, who was the true successor?
What?
Doc
Out of
Heaven. Doc Heaven says, out of Braswell Bay and Bailey Ill, who was the true successor?
Neither one. Neither one. If you look at Braswell Bay record, Braswell Bay was never accepted by the Grand Body to be the Supreme Grand Council. If you look, because they got rid of the Grand Body in 1996, that's why I left him. 1997, he made himself, the so-called local yokels made him their Supreme Grand Chief. Bailey Hill was in on that. If you look at Bailey Hill 2015 so-called convention, he says that he announced, but he don't tell you he was involved in it. He just say they did it. The second Supreme Grand Council did it. Now, in 2004, Braswell Bay kicked Bailey Hill out the Moorish Temple of America. Well, how do you know, Brother Ryan? Because Braswell Bay turned around in 2005 and brought charges up with the federal government against him and other people. They were so afraid that they contacted me and said, well, Brother Ray, what you going to do about the case? I said, what case you talking about, brother? Braswell Bay. I said, Braswell Bay did what? Oh, he got a case against you. I said, oh, I see what he's trying to do. So I went and filed my paperwork and chased him out of court. That's why the court case didn't go nowhere. Because once I stepped up, Braswell Bay did the Batman and Robin, made a stage left. Because I told the judge I want cameras in the courtroom. And he couldn't take that. Because I was going to defend myself. I was going purr. And I was going to whoop him. So he wasn't right, Billy Hill wasn't right. I'm the only legitimate, at that Grand Temple One, I am the only legitimate heritor, lawful and legal, of that title, Supreme Grand Chief. Point blank, period.
And that came about because you didn't just leave, you gave time for them to get right
I
according
did.
to the prophet.
1995, I told them when they first did, I said, y'all got to get right. I'm going to give y'all 1 year to get it right. And they did. 1996, they kept on. They got rid of the whole grand body then. Talking, we're going to make you members of. You can't make me nothing. You don't have no power and authority. Act 1, all power and authority, more assigned to America, hand of the prophet and the grand body, nobody else. Next.
Islam. I guess you already answered that. Is that what happened with you out of that situation? So you already answered that. Okay. Islam.
Yeah, if everybody tried to take me to court and they lost, that should tell you what happened. Braswell Bay said, y'all part of, I know you got to be with Braswell Bay or Billy Hill. Braswell Bay said, y'all part of the federal government. Y'all agents. All Braswell Bay people are agents. Roger, everybody, because y'all part of the federal government. Citizens of the federal government. You know, in France, there's no such thing as a French American, French Irish or whatever Frenchman. There ain't no hyphens. And in the United States law, there is no hyphenated American. That's why the prophet didn't hyphenate Moorish American. But y'all don't know that. But anyway, next.
That pretty much covers it.
Well, somebody else may have a question.
Okay. And let me put the number back on just in case you want to call. If not, you can just post it here. I'm gonna put the phone number back up. So if you're able to call, you can go ahead and call in, and we will gladly take your question. We just ask that you state your name and what's your way. Are you Moorish American? Are you Sunni, Catholic, Buddhist, Baha? You know, so we know your path. Wow. And maybe afterwards, one of the things is that if you are on our Facebook page and also our main website, MSTA1928.org, you can actually post up uh, questions or things that maybe you couldn't think of while now on the show, or maybe afterwards, or if you're watching this as a tape and you want to come on next week, we'll have a portion of our if the truth be told, where we open up the phone lines and you can call in, or you can post your questions up as well. And and always ask in an intelligent tone. You don't have to worry about being berated or fear of you being pulled into a whole measure that you wasn't looking for. But just as they say, come correct. Come correct. All right. It was 678-632-1499. Any questions? And yeah, this is the first time we using this particular platform. We like it because one, we stream live from the Moorish Temples America YouTube page, MSTA1928 YouTube page, and then we had created if only the truth, only the truth matters. Um, and then we have our various Facebook page, many, and the group page, and it's certain different numbers that we have on each of those pages. So we found this to be exceedingly beneficial to hit all our top pages that we have people on to inform, educate, and uplift. So we are on multiple platforms at the same simultaneously taping. So this way we're trying to cover a lot more footing, and it just kind of works out that way in what we do. So as always, as we get ready to close out, continue to be safe, and also we do have a it's more or less an interaction platform where it's not video, it's just you on your phone, and it's called Clubhouse. We really, and that's more where we can engage with people from all over the world in terms of our faith, which is a good thing because it gives us the opportunity to share the teachings of our prophet to people in other countries that may be, that maybe their way is Islam, and just they had no idea about the more scientific American as our way to educate and inform those in different countries. So our clubhouse is definitely open. We did a show early this week on Monday actually, and it was really nice conversation Chief had with a brother in the UK that was Sunni, and he asked some basic general questions about, our faith of Islam, and he couldn't disagree. And I mean, he noted that many times. I can't disagree with you, because Chief was running off the surahs. He was going straight into surahs to substantiate his point. And that's being scripturally sound. When you know your faith of Islam, you can go into the various scriptures. Maybe I'll take this call back.
What was that?
South Carolina.
Okay. Well, anyway, we said, come on, Governor, you can take over.
Oh, you got it here anyway.
Don't nobody want none?
No. I thought it was one of the institution calls, because we always answer our institution calls. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close it out if no one has any other questions.
Well, we give them 5 minutes because we got 5 minutes.
Oh, we got 5 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour. All right. Thank you, Brother Muriel, for putting up the clubhouse link. Islam, praise the Lord. We got Samo7. What happens with someone out of line like Tahaka imitating a grand sheik?
What?
Oh, it's a question.
What's
Brother
the question?
Samo, what happens with someone out of line like Tahaka imitating a grand sheik?
Who asked that question?
Samo7.
Well, first of all, what you gonna do about it? See, if I went around killing all y'all be mad at me. The police, they call the police. Rael is knocking them in the head. We got to get rid of Rael. The European call it killing two birds with one stone. But the prophet, you got to look at the prophet's teaching. The prophet says it's going to be like this in the end. You have to determine truth from falsehood. Now, wasn't nobody supporting Tahaka. Look at all the people, pictures he done took with him. Everybody took a picture of Tahaka, made him who he is. Think about that. Every time you snap a picture with somebody, you supporting them. Think about that. Look at all the people he took pictures with. He took pictures of me and put them up there. You don't see no picture of me in that crumb snatcher.
Because after you was on the show, he turned around after you exposed him. Then he did, I don't know, several expos. I mean, how do you do that? You did.
I like it. I'm sure. See, I like it. That let me know he following me. Any other questions?
No.
Yeah, he following me. Just like that nut Yahshua. He said, I ain't got but 2 members or 3 members because in the base, most everybody call in because of this COVID. He ain't got nobody when there wasn't no COVID. Only thing he got is that picture of that homosexual over his head, over his prayer rug, Dr. Doom York. Man got 138 years, you still holding him up.
Islam.
Who's that? The Philip guy.
It's a bot.
That's who?
A bot.
What you mean about?
It's a troll of the. It's
Okay, y'all, I'm getting ready to go. You got 5 minutes?
Islam. All right, 5 minutes. It's going to be at the 9 o'clock hour where we're going to shut it down. But yeah, and I think one of the things we kind of cleared a lot of stuff up and dealing with all of that on the Sonetta show, where we stand with all of that.
Well, let's see.
Oh, Islam.
What?
Got a call. Now I got to find out where the things. Hold on, I get you.
Just keep holding.
Okay. I don't see where it popped up.
I get it right there.
Huh? That's it right there, but it didn't pop up. Oh, I got it. Okay. Can you call back in? It just dropped. We got you. If you can call back in, we got you. It's
Call right back. And what's that? We knew it, this.
Islam. Again, the number 678-632-1499. If you can call back in. Yeah, I had to get my browser together. And it's our first time using this platform, so we working it. So you can call back in. That's 678-632-1499.
Who's that?
Islam. Messiah saying Islam family. Islam. All right.
Go back there.
That's it.
Okay, sorry about that. We had to try to figure out what she should have done. Figure out how this should work beforehand. Yeah.
I did figure out.
Well, it took you a half an hour to get there.
Anyway.
This is truth be told, not truth be had.
All right. So as we get ready to
I've got 1 minute. Call right back.
678-632-1499. All right.
Sorry about that.
And again, join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday Holy Day service. And if you're looking for a temple community, no matter where you at, go on to our main website. We just give you enough information to make an informed decision. We ain't trying to convince you. We don't tell you to leave and you need to join only us. We don't do that. We don't have to, because we want you to make an informed decision, an intelligent decision, and not one so much based on emotions, but on intellect. I mean, it is emotional because you're embracing a whole idea, a whole concept, a whole new way of life. And it can be an emotional undertaking, but we want to make sure you are informed enough to where when you make a decision, whether you choose to join our community or someone else's community, you can ask intelligent questions of knowing who's the leadership, what's the history of the leadership, what are they teaching, what are they way, and you can compare the life and the mindset of those in the temple by this, the Circle 7 Quran, the holy instructions. Something that the chief said: compare the spirit of man to what you know to be divine, and adjust yourself to what is divine. It's a question: do we have all the Moorish guides preserved? I know the chief has quite a few of them, but there was a at one time the Schomburg Library in Harlem, New York, had the Moorish guide papers where you can at one time you can take them out and flip through them and look through them, but they said people started stealing them, and so they went ahead and scanned them and made copies. Well, you can make copies of them, but they have it to where you can look at a microfiche or a copy, a photo copy of the Moorish Guide newspaper. But we don't have all of them preserved, but we do have quite a few of them. Chief have some of the first ones that was put out. So they're very informative, very well informative. But no, we don't have our grand body doesn't have all of them. Maybe there's somebody out there that has all the Moorish Guide newspaper. Praise Allah, but we don't have them all.
You have very few original, very few pieces most of the time.
Any other questions? All right, we're about to go ahead and close it out in just about 1 minute, and we're going to give that 1 minute for anyone that wants to call in. Again, we apologize for the last caller that called in on that 678 678 632 1499. If you want to call in, it's on the screen, and we just ask that you state your name and your way. What's your way? So this way we can address you accordingly and answer the question accordingly. Islam. All right, all right, all right. Well, as always, it's a good opportunity and a pleasure to be able to use this platform to inform, educate, and uplift in how we do. Um, we welcome you to not only just visit our website and our YouTube page and our Facebook page, but there is a lot of information that we have that we trust that you do your due diligence and do contrast and comparison. Um, Islam. From Messiah Islam Elder is the 1928 MSTA from the charter established by Prophet Noble Ali. My reason for asking this because Messiah have learned that it's different temples disguised as MSTA.
Okay. Prophet Noble Ali didn't sign no charters, first of all. He signed no charters but one charter, that was Temple number 9. So when you asking are the charters from the prophet, all the charters look alike because the prophet didn't sign them. But as I said, I trace myself back to the original Grand Temple 1 that the prophet was in, but my actual physical, spiritual lineage is through George Cook Bay, I Cook Bay, Sister Pearl Ali, Sister Mary Ali, Brother Booker Bay. This is where I get all my spiritual lessons from the prophet, direct from those people whom the prophet taught and slept with. Charter-wise, my charter was issued to me by Temple 17 of the Moorish Temple of America, the governor of Temple 17. If you look on any, I'll put it like this, just go get a copy of the first convention. You see, that's 1928, and you will see standing in front of 3810 South Wabash to the right of the prophet, Sister Aesop Bay. She was the governor of Temple 17. Governors can issue out charters. The only difference of it is her charter had ink on it. I took the ink off because I had the power and authority to correct anything that goes wrong. So I didn't get my charter from Lovey. I didn't get my charter from Billy Hill and them. All this rumors, I'm letting you know now, I got my charter from the original Temple 17, which was given this charter after the death of the prophet by Mealy Hill. Temple 19, Temple 17, I think it was 2 other temples given charters by Mealy Hill. So not only do I have the paper, I have the knowledge. Just like anybody can come over the Quran. You got all these Qurans all across. I can go behind my desk and get about 20 different Qurans, shapes and sizes and colors. They all almost got the same thing in them. But only I got my power and authority from those who the prophet gave power and authority to. The very first man the prophet put a black fez on and said, George Cookbay, put it on my head. Now I hear some people going, well, you know, he left the temple. He went with Kirkman Bay, yes. Mealy Hill, wife took him down south and dropped him off. So he went in no temple. His wife took Mealy Hill down south, left him in the south, ran back up to take control of the temple. That's a fact. Mealy Hill died in 1934 in Mississippi. He was there since 1933. George Cookbay died as a Moorish American actively in 1993, September the 16th. He put his black fez on my head and told me, come with him. He's going to teach me what the prophet taught him. So y'all go for whatever y'all want to go for.
That's a question for Simone,
What?
Simone 7. Did Sister Christina Price Bay breathe on you?
She talked to me. I used to go to her house. I knew her granddaughter when she was still a baby, and her son, who was younger than me. So, yes, I used to go to her house. Matter of fact, at my first wedding, her name was on the back of my marriage, of my obligation paper. So, yes. But she couldn't breathe nothing. Y'all give all this credit. She was a child during the time of the prophet. She had no official position other than acting secretary. She was right for the prophet. That's it. Y'all said, well, she can make ad. She couldn't make an adept with she the bust of grape. She was a good sister, though. She was the second queen mother. I learned a lot from her. She had a lot of stuff. I used to go to her house out there on the exchange. I think 75th and Exchange, somewhere around there on the east side of Chicago. So I knew her well.
That's another question you put.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Chief Minister, our beloved National Grand Sheik Clifford Jackson Bay, did he come out of our German Bay Temple?
From what I know, he came out of German Bay's group. He went to 957 75th Street, but they wouldn't take him through the chamber. And he claimed that Sister Christina Price Bay took him through the chamber, but she don't have that authority. But I do know he was over there with German Bay. In 1996, he brought Porter Hill with him to California to sit and talk with us. So they stayed about a week. So I have that record, I have that on tape, video, etc., when he came to our temple. And it was a meeting of the mind.
It's Messiah Ill says, Islam Elder, thanks for educating me about the charter that governs the MSTA Bay. Messiah Ill was just asking Moab, no disrespect intended, uplifting fallen humanity is my duty as a Moorish American.
First, your duty is to learn for yourself. You have to learn. See, we spend most of our time, most young people come to the temple now, spend most of their time trying to learn everybody else stuff instead of mastering themselves. If you ain't practicing, I don't care what you get. Look over there in Braswell Bay and Billy Hill Body. They got all the information. They got stuff up the yin yang. Ain't none of one of them produced one thing. They ain't produced one thing. Not one thing. Why? But they got all the information. They got original charters. Braswell Bay and Billy Hill got original charters. They got charters from all the way time of the prophet. They got the original seals, but that don't mean nothing. If you're not false to these principles in your own life, getting knowledge, you just an educated fool. Don't be an educated fool. Practice, 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 practice. All right, one more question before I go.
Islam. Any other questions? Or you can call in
One more question.
678
We
632
worked it out.
1499 678 632 1499 for anyone that wants to verbalize their question. If not, you can type it here in the chat. We'll get it anyway. But Islam. One more question before we go. And again, a lot of the history can be found in the controversial years.
Part 1 and 2. There's going to be a 3 and 4 coming out soon.
Controversial years. So if you got this book, and believe me, if whatever temple you in, your national leader got this book. They may not show you, but they got this book. We know. A lot of folks have ordered this book over the years, and it actually sits in the University of Colorado and also on other platforms. But it is compiled for all the years of Chief sitting with um, those elders, those brothers and sisters that was there during the time of the prophet. He asks for information. He's like, he's not just one. He said, "Can I get a copy of that? Can I get, where can I see that at?" And they would give him information. They would give him a copy. But what Chief didn't do, like most other national leaders have done, is harvest it for himself and try to use or let's say weaponize the information to keeping the members at bay, always guessing. Is like holding a carrot at the end of a stick for the members, and they always trying to grab at the carrot, you know. And so the chief wanted Moorish Americans, Muslims, to basically get the information for yourself. So this way you don't got to be duped in reading a glyph or a paragraph or a verse from somebody else holding the whole document, but they're going to give you a
Right now, wait a
excerpt.
minute, Prophet. Barely of the people that threw out tons of stuff that the prophet had. See, a lot of these people didn't know he had a garage full of stuff. How do I know? Because he gave me a lot of stuff.
Absolutely.
So
yes.
Anyway, hurry up, son. One more minute, because it'll be 15 after. I got to go eat.
So here's the book, Controversial Years. You can get it off the Moorish Islam. It's the only platform that this book is sold. Is on the Moorish Islamic Store.com. Please don't get fooled with the other book that some people said on Wade Ill. He basically plagiarized 99% of the
He
stuff
didn't know
out
what
of
he's
his
talking
book
about.
from here. And because the people.
So if y'all support him, y'all saying all the Moors under the Crescent Star are Arab niggas. I ain't no Arab nigga.
Because Chief sat with the individuals that gave him this information. I mean, the conversations Chief had with T. Booker Bay, who was a Garveyite before joining the temple, and actually, saw the prophet walk in the door. And when the prophet came back for the next meeting, he walked out with the prophet and joined the Moorish Temple of America. These are stories that was given to the chief, what we call a holy breath transmission. And then other stories that these brothers and sisters that was there with the prophet that shared with the chief, things that only chief will only share with the members or just with the adults, depending on the lesson, because these are what we call the holy breath transmission. The lessons that chief got from these elders, you're not going to find in the Moorish Guide newspaper or the Moorish literature or in the minutes, because this was an exchange between a student and a teacher. And that student seeing the teachers being humble and entrusting the student with this information that they would do right by it and not only uplift themselves, but uplift others. So the information that the chief has received over the years from brothers and sisters that was there with the prophet. When I look at Chief Minister Card, he has G. Cook Bay name on the back of his nationality card. And on the back of George Cook Bay nationality card is the prophet. That's our lineage here in terms of the teachership. And so this wasn't Chief Minister.
Now, wait a minute. And George Cook Bay taught me even more than he taught his own children. I'm the only one out of 175 grandchildren. He took off his black feathers and put on my head. I never forget, I was a Sunday school teacher. And they said, "Grandfather, don't." He said, "I know who the prophet told me to look for."
Islam. So it's not even a point of boasting. It's a point of just sharing and basically educating people about the lineage, the people that are actually sincere in holding these lessons. Whatever grand body you in, irregardless of who it is, ask yourself, what have they done? If you can name 5 positive things they have done ubiquitously across the Moorish American diaspora, then that should give you some footing on, wow, my leader is really doing something. I'm not selling popsicles and hamburgers in front of the temple. That's all well and good. But I'm saying something that has instigated or instituted a mindset, a custom, a tradition, a trajectory of information that your leader has stand on. What has he done? What has he done that you can name that has affected the Moorish American diaspora, be it directly or indirectly? 5 things, positive things. And if you can name 5 positive things that he's done and you can see and prove it, praise Allah. Praise Allah. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and close out. We trust everyone continue to be safe. If you're looking to join, looking to be part of the Moorish Temple of America Holy Day service, if you're in need of wanting to be inspired and filled with the holy zeal of a powerful demonstration, we invite you to our Friday Holy Day service. We stream live every Friday. If you are in the Atlanta area, definitely give us a call. We have a toll-free number on our main website. Make RSVP if you want to come to our temple, and we can make that happen. Definitely, I suggest you join our mailing list on the Moorish Islamic, the Moorish Temple of America website, which is MSTA1928.org, so you can learn about what we got going on and different things we got coming up, so you can be in the know. And again, to get the book, The Controversial Years, Moorish Islamic Store. And we also, in note, in donations, we accept donations. MSTA 1928 at the Cash App, and we also have it via PayPal link on our main website. And you can, and if you want to send a money order or a check, that can be made out to the Moorish Temple of America -1928. We welcome that too. And all that information is on our main website. We appreciate y'all for taking time to chatter with us. Maybe y'all have some questions next time we do the Truth Be Told, 7:30 Thursday. We do this again. But we'll see you at 7 o'clock tomorrow p.m. For our Friday Holy Day service. So we're going to leave y'all all in the best of ways.
Islam, let Allah go before you. And you can walk safely.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Peace and love. And praise Allah Almighty. We're going to check out one of our little commercials. That's all I wanted to put up here. We work at this channel. We're going to get it going on.
And you would say this to anybody, anywhere in the world. Islam, no. Islam, no. If they don't say it back to you, I ain't mad. Because what? Pure and hard give, love what? Don't demand it back. So if that guy never came back and talked to me, I'd have told y'all. I was ready to tell y'all anyway, but he wasn't gonna talk to me. Must be one of the moles I made mad. I say all this to let y'all know. We're not gonna march with Negroes. When we get ready to do what we're doing this. But if we ever get an opportunity to march, we should be in the front line. There ain't but 300 of us and 10,000 Negroes want to march with us, they will march behind us. And when they ask why, this is our march. We're doing this. We're leading on the victory show. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on like. We lead on the victory show. We're soldiers of Allah. Jundin Allah means warriors of Allah. We're one God. So we don't fear nothing. We walk as fear, not in fear.